And we're taking you back to that breaking news. You're looking live at PCH, where a man has barricaded himself inside a van, and this could impact your commute to work. Thanks for joining us here on KCAL News Mornings at 8. I'm Rudy Shabazi.
And I'm Jamie Yukas. We want to get to Kalina and how this impacts traffic in just a second. But first, let's go to the desk with Mark, who's been following this breaking story all morning. And when we say all morning, it's been quite a morning, Mark.
Yeah, it's been hours and hours that PCH has been closed near Zuma Beach. This is the scene. SkyCal has been overhead for the better part of 2.5 hours now here. What you're looking at is a man barricaded inside of this van here after LA County Sheriff's deputies around 1 this morning tried to conduct a traffic stop on that van, realized the driver had a no bail warrant, tried to take him into custody. That's when LA County Sheriff's Headquarters Bureau tells us here at the desk that man attacked deputies with a fire extinguisher, then retreated inside that van. Now, no deputies were injured in that attack, and apparently neither was that man. But that man, for the better part of 7 hours now, has slowly been taking apart that van, throwing pieces of it onto the road there, you see there near the bottom of your screen, and refusing to surrender to deputies. Now, just about 30 minutes ago, LA County Sheriff sent their Special Enforcement Bureau, that's their version of their SWAT team, in with 2 armored vehicles. They have now boxed in the man in that van, and they are formulating a plan about how to take that man into custody. They say that they have a crisis negotiating team on scene. They want this man to surrender peacefully, but so far he's been exhibiting bizarre behavior. We've seen him cutting off pieces of fabric from the roof of that van, throwing it onto the street. We don't believe he is armed with any kind of a firearm, but because he assaulted deputies, they are treating him like an armed and dangerous suspect, calling him an assault with a deadly weapon suspect now. And as deputies here are trying to take him into custody, Pacific Coast Highway closed in both directions from Heathercliff Road to Bush Drive, and that may cause a real nightmare for people commuting through that section of Malibu. Now, I want to send it over to Kalina to I want to actually talk a little bit more here about how this is affecting traffic, so I want to send it over to Kalina to discuss traffic. Kalina, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so we put it on the map for you so you can see what Mark was talking about and the stretch of the roadway that's impacted. So that's that black patch that you're seeing this morning. Both directions of PCH, again, between Bush and Heathercliff Road. All lanes are closed. Now, there's a neighborhood where crews are diverting traffic off right at Heathercliff Road and taking you into this neighborhood where it looks like you can reroute and get back onto the roadway. We are looking into that this morning because there are a couple different residential streets in the area. I'm not quite sure if they necessarily want people driving through the residence area and if they're going to block it off, but right now it looks like that could be the case. The other option this morning would be Mulholland Highway or the 101. Those are both options for you before you even hit the road. That'll help you get right around that, and I'll keep you updated throughout the morning, and we're going to get more information as far as those surface streets are concerned. But for now, Rudy and Jamie, I'll toss it back to you.
Yeah, I guess the good news here is I was looking into the Malibu High School is not far from where this incident is occurring right now, but they're not back in school, it looks like, until tomorrow. So there's a little bit of relief there in terms of traffic. But you have to wonder, you know, this situation, clearly there must be either some type of mental health issue, potentially drug use. You know, he's now considered, you know, suspect with a deadly weapon. You know, people, the SWAT members taking this very, very seriously as to what's going on. But it doesn't look like this is going to be resolved anytime soon.
Yeah, and you could see him in there earlier. We saw him almost washing himself with water, a bottle of water. And you see, Mark, these, I think it's the SWAT team here behind this armored vehicle, right? And they're, looks like they're in position. There's not really much of a sense of urgency. Now you see him looking out there he is with the water again and kind of looking out the window, and he just seems to be completely agitated, ignoring all of this law enforcement, this huge scene that is, you know, he's causing right now on PCH.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is, you're right, this is basically what you're looking at here, the LA County Sheriff's version of a SWAT team. They don't call it a SWAT team, they call it their Special Enforcement Bureau, but it is essentially just that. It is armored vehicles and deputies in tactical gear. It's usually a combination of a sharpshooting team and a crisis negotiating team. In the communication that we got from LA County Sheriff's Headquarters, they do say their CNT, or crisis negotiating team, is on station. They are trying to talk to this person, but you know, for about the last 30 minutes, Ruby and Jamie, I haven't seen this man attempt to communicate with deputies at all. It's just been this behavior. His head down, he's looking around the van. We've seen him manipulating things inside the van. Occasionally he's had something in his hand. As I said before, he's attempted to cut the top of the roof. We saw fabric hanging down. He cut that off. He's thrown a few things out of the van. But one thing that he hasn't done is made any really aggressive, overt moves. Sometimes we've seen suspects yell or make aggressive arm movements. This man in that van, he's very calm, so to speak, in regards to this situation, really kind of just moving around slowly, not really even acknowledging deputies' presence there, at least for the last 30 minutes. A little bit earlier, I did see what I thought it looked like he maybe spoke to some deputies before the Special Operations Bureau or the Special Enforcement Bureau was there on station. But since those armored cars have arrived, he's basically ignored them completely. So deputies there now, they're formulating a plan on how to go and take this man into custody.
Yeah, you know, he does appear agitated while he's also ignoring these police officers on site. Now he seems to be wiping something on his face. We saw him dump water over the top of his head. As you said, you know, he's clearly been ripping up this van and throwing things outside. You just have to wonder what's going on for him mentally right now.
Yeah, and another thing that we don't have information, and I don't know if deputies know this either, is whether or not that van is disabled. We don't have any information that this vehicle was stopped by a pit maneuver or spike strips or anything like that. Sheriff's deputies do say there was no pursuit here. This was just a traffic stop. But the way that that van is sort of parked angled towards the curb, it doesn't look like this person may have just stopped on their own. We're not sure. So deputies haven't been able to communicate that to us. But this barricade situation continues here as they hope that a crisis negotiating team can get that man to surrender.
Yeah, I guess if the van isn't disabled, the vehicle would also be considered a deadly weapon at this point. Mark, we'll keep checking in with you throughout the morning and see if this can get resolved sometime soon.